Welcome back to FineScale Modeler Weekly.
With another episode full of new models and related hobby products. Let's get rolling with the 1/25th scale snap together kit of Herbie the Love Bug by Polar Lights.
This kit started out as a new tool back in 2004 and has seen some minor cosmetic changes over the years, including new parts and even decals for the Amazing Spider-Man, Harley Quinn, and Coca-Cola.
Let's check out what's in the box. We'll start with the body, which is molded in one piece, with the frunk and bonnet making up the front and rear, which can be displayed either open or closed.
The frunk tub slides into positive locator pins on the underside of the body, with one-piece clear plastic for the front and rear windshields, wing, and rear door windows.
The steering wheel, steering column, and dashboard add details to the interior.
There are 5 wheels in 3 parts, starting with the rim, rubber tire, and chrome smoothie hubcaps.
Next up is the engine. We'll start with the left and right cylinder pairs, their shrouds, engine block and transmission, the distributor, ignition coil, and air cleaner section, with the crankshaft, pulley, alternator, and V-belt rounding out the assembly.
Next, we go to the underbody of the chassis, where the rear suspension, exhaust, and assembled engine will go. Flipping the chassis back over, there's the firewall, left and right heater air feed hoses, and the oil bath air cleaner assembly.
Going back to the interior, there's the floor, front and rear seats, emergency brake, shifter, pedal assembly, and interior door panels attached to either side of the floor.
The front suspension is up next with the frame head, steering knuckles, and tie rod. Front and rear wheels are joined by metal rods that will allow Herbie to roll freely once the model is complete.
Outside details include running boards, rag top, tail lights, and plenty of chrome like front and rear bumpers, side view mirrors, door handles, headlight buckets, and turn signals.
Front and rear lights consist of clear parts and share the same sprue with the one-piece window assembly mentioned before, so they will be easy to find. At the end of the build, and depending on your skill level, you have a choice between using decals or stickers to decorate Herbie.
Herbie rides again with this Polar Lights reissue of the popular Walt Disney car for the young and young at heart.
Let's take to the skies with a new hardcover book from Casemate, F-35 in Service with Air Forces Around the World by Gerard Keijsper, published by Pen and Sword Books.
This 488-page book explores the origins of the F-35, tracing back to NATO studies on air-based vulnerabilities, and discusses the evolution of short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft leading to the F-35's creation.
There are 16 chapters that start with the history of the F-35 and continue with mission systems, pure power, the range of the JSF, F-35 training, F-35 operators, mishaps, and a lot more.
This is a fascinating and highly illustrated study of the F-35 in service, which, in Lockheed Martin's own words, is the most lethal, survivable, and connected fighter jet in the world.
Keeping to the skies, we have the Academy 148th Scale Republic of Korea Air Force FA-50 Fighting Eagle.
This kit dates back to 2011 as a new tool of the T-50 Advanced Trainer, with new decals added in 2013 for the T-50B Black Eagles release.
The upper fuselage has been revised from the T-50 kit to include a separate radome and lower forward section of the fuselage, cannon panel, right REX, separate flaperon, and upper LEX number 1, all updated for the FA-50 kit.
The lower fuselage has not changed and has all the same details as before, which includes the main landing gear bay.
The first sprue consists mostly of forward fuselage parts, lower main wings, one-piece flaperons, port and starboard forward fuselage halves, one-piece horizontal fins, a resting hook, cannon, spine fuselage and fin fairing, vertical fin fairing, bottom panel of the fuselage, and main landing gear doors.
The next sprue has landing gear and air intake parts, starting with the air intake duct, main landing gear struts in parking and landing positions, centerline pylon, 150-gallon fuel tank, one-piece engine nozzle, afterburner section, engine compression compressor and afterburner and flame holder, main landing gear actuator and main landing gear door actuator, and various parts of the main landing gear bay and main wheels.
Sprue H is new to this kit and has parts for the main wing antenna, front and rear seat instrument panels, LEX air inlet, landing gear door, one-piece FA50 vertical fin with rudder, and open air brakes round out this section.
Up next is the canopy internal frame, Martin Baker Mark 16K ejection seats, cockpit tub, throttle and control sticks, front and rear glare shield, nose landing gear bay, canopy mechanism, 2 sets of boarding ladders, and 2 types of nose landing gear struts in parked and flying positions.
Sprue E has both front seat and rear seat pilots consisting of 5 pieces each.
There are 2 sprues that carry the armaments, which include 2 AIM 9LM sidewinders, 2 sets of 150-gallon fuel tanks, 2 sets of AGM-65 Mavericks, and 2 Korean GPS-guided bombs.
The clear sprue consists of the canopy, nose landing gear taxiing lights, air intake navigation lights, HUD display, windshield, sniper ATP lens, AGM-65 Maverick lens, and the vertical fin navigation light.
The kit includes marking instructions and decals for 5 squadron numbers, including 160060, 140016, 150030, 130004, and 140014. Die-cut masks are also included.
There's a useful paint index on the outside of the box for callouts from a number of companies like Humbrol, GSI Krios, Life Color, Model Master, Revell, Vallejo, and AK Interactive.
Look for reviews of the Polar Lights Herbie the Love Bug and FA50 Fighting Eagle at FineScale.com,
where you'll also find downloadable snapshot PDFs on detailing model car brakes, achieving a realistic-looking broken windshield, and a lot more.
For a long time, I've wanted to talk to you guys about hot wire cutters, and guess what? Today is going to be the day. Anyway, what we have here is the Proxxon Thermocut. Now, I think there's a number that goes with this. Yeah, like the 115E, something along those lines. What can we use a hot wire cutter for? Well, mostly it's for cutting foam and other thermoplastics, but foam. And why would we want to cut foam? Well, in case we were doing bases or walls or building things for a diorama or a vignette. And I just think it's a really neat tool to have at our disposal. But I want to go ahead and show you a couple of things, just how to get this tool together first. So first of all, this arm comes separate in your box, so you're going to have to insert it through this hole here in the back. It comes through, and you'll see right here, you'll tighten it down, and then you'll go ahead and attach this red wire to that arm via this little screw there, okay? Now, remember this brass piece for later on, okay? Because actually, when you insert the wire from the arm, you're gonna insert it through here and pull that taut, okay? So once the arm, you've got all that connected, you've got your wire, you're gonna pull the wire down through, insert it through this little hole here, down through that brass part that we were telling you about before, and then use this knob here to tighten up into that brass part, and that's going to hold this wire tight. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is then move this collar and make sure that your wire is as close to 90 degrees as possible. And right now we are just a tad bit off. So what you can do is loosen this knob here on the back side of this collar, until your wire is as close to 90 degrees as you can get it. Then go ahead and tighten it back up. Now, as far as the fence goes, you can see that you can move it. You can adjust that. And then there's a mechanism down here that you can use to tighten it so that this doesn't move. And then also you can adjust the angle of your fence. And there are 2 grooves on the table, one here and one here, so you can decide where you want to put the fence. Lastly, this knob right here is your temperature control, and this turns everything on. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Makes a little bit of a humming noise, not much. Now, this wire is now hot, so be careful. You don't want to touch it. It gets louder the hotter you go with it. And I'm going to just crank it up to 9 so you can see what that looks like. See how that turned bright orange? Yeah, we're going to stop that. We'll go back down to 2. All right. So I've got some XPS foam here. You can use EPS foam too. Let's just go ahead and give this a rip along the fence, or maybe I think this is a cross cut, right? If we were using woodworking parlance. And I'm not feeding it in through there real fast or anything like that. At a 2, I'm just nice and steady. And look at that. That's a nice clean cut. Is it going to be super perfect? No, but we're probably going to be covering a lot of these things anyway, so it doesn't need to be super perfect. But let me find a pen real quick here. So I've put a sort of this S shape on this. Let's see how well I can do. I'm gonna turn this up to a 3. Oh, it gets a little bit louder. Now you can see this thing is cutting through at just 3. It's cutting even more. Ooh, nice and unsteady there, Tim. There's not a lot of like feedback or pressure. And there's that smoke, right? Anyway, that's kind of nice. I could probably have done it better, but you can do your own freehand work. Let's talk about a couple of accessories that you can get for this thing. So this is the Thermocut angle, I think. Angle. TA300 is the number for it. Anyway, it comes with a sliding fence pusher. And then down here on the other end is an angle gauge. And then, of course, this fence itself, and it pivots, it rotates, so you can create angles. So he comes in, and this here fits right into this groove that you use for the fence that comes with the table, the Thermocut. And then you just loosen this, and you can rotate that for different angle cuts. So what I thought we would do is just experiment a little bit, tighten that back down. So let's just go ahead and run it through there and see what that does. Turn her on. I've got it at 3, and dial it back just a tad. There it goes. Turn this off. That's kind of cool. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and put it through the other way. Looks like a little house, maybe. This interesting device is the Thermocut Keijsper. It's the Thermocut circle cutter. That's what this thing is for. Let's give it a shot. I've got this piece right here. I'm just going to sort of guesstimate where the center of that's going to be. And then, oh, look at that. It spins. Okay. Look at that. Nice circle. Do you need a thermal cutter or any other kind of hot wire cutter? No, but they are cool. You got to admit, it's a neat tool. And if you are going to be doing bases that you're going to be using foam with, sure, you can go ahead and use a knife and you can plow through them with sandpaper and whatever else. But this is going to be a little bit faster. It's going to be less messy. And I don't know, I think it could really improve what you're doing. Now, there are a couple of other kinds of hot wire cutters, and we're going to take a look at those in future episodes. But for me, I think a thermal cutter, that's a pretty neat thing to have at the workbench. So it's been 3 episodes, and I figured it's about time that we got Jason down here in the wrap-up to, I don't know, talk to you guys and give him a little bit of an introduction. So Jason, welcome to FineScale Modeler.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Wow, right off the bat. Did you hear that? It's a pleasure. Okay, so what's your background in modeling?
Well, I've been doing it since the late 1970s.
Okay.
And which means, well, it's on and off. It hasn't been straight through. It's been on and off since then. And I have a background in writing for the now defunct Sci-Fi and Fantasy Modeler magazine from the UK.
Okay.
I did that for 2 years. And after that, I had done a little bit of writing for Amazing Figure Modeler magazine.
Okay, so you're like a sci-fi and figure guy.
Yes, sci-fi and figure, and I really like to get away from the real world, so to speak.
Well, modeling is an escape. It's an escape.
Yes,
right?
true.
Through the whole thing. So we do sci-fi, we do figures, but we also do a lot of, all the other stuff, right?
Yes,
we serve all the things.
Yes.
So there's a lot of drinking from the fire hose at this point.
Oh boy, I love that flavor.
Very good. So what's on the workbench currently for you?
So right now I am gearing up, so to speak, for a review for the magazine of the moon suit from Mobius Models.
Okay.
Oh. Nope.
No.
Monarch.
Oh, Monarch. Not Mobius.
Not Mobius. Monarch. My fault.
Good catch. Good catch. And that's a new suit or a new model, and I think we'd had that in the MPRD a couple of episodes back.
Correct. So. Yes, it's a brand new tool. Yeah. Some people actually thought that it was a repop. Yeah, of an Aurora kit. That actually not even a repop. It was. Possibly something that Aurora actually didn't get to.
It was in the planning.
It was in the planning.
They didn't actually get to it.
But actually, this is a whole brand new tool, and it's based off of a 1967 cover from Life magazine talking about the suit itself.
Right. Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Anything else non-magazine related?
Well, actually, for a friend, I have a diorama that I am working on for him. It's a...
we did, we got this foam cutter that...
Foam cutting. Oh, yeah.
It might help.
Yeah, no. It may a little bit, just a tiny bit. But actually...
I digress. See, I threw him off. I already threw him off.
Actually, it's a diorama that's going to be built around a Japanese 12-inch figure.
Okay.
And it's going to be something really out there and attention grabbing.
Nice.
So,
well, very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so everyone, this is Jason. You've already seen him in the NPRD sections. He's going to be a regular figure around the magazine, on the website, and in the videos. So here he is. Please make sure to drop some welcomes in the comments below. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Wow, like out of nowhere. Like, hey, start.
It is a weird word. Frunk.
Get the frunk out.
I'm gonna turn this off before I actually burn myself, because while you all would find that funny, I don't know. There's this thing. Give the table a rub. It's just, I don't know, this table is stupid smooth, and I don't.
Why does that bother you?
It doesn't. Aaron and I would, it was one of those things where it's a satin finish, and it's like, wow, this is really nice.
And it makes some really irritating stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is really nice. Hey, we were just, I don't know, it's habit forming. It's a nice table.